how to read properly grew stronger. She felt that one cannot learn without a teacher. Besides that, being a woman, and that too a married woman, was also a barrier for her. She couldn't think of getting a teacher to learn how to read and write. So her only hope was God, and she kept on praying to God to get her wish fulfilled. This praying to God was something that had given her a lot of strength to undergo all the difficult moment of her life, to undergo all the difficult situation in her life. One day she dreamt that she was reading Chaitanya Bhagavata and she was enthralled. Chaitanya Bhagavata is a religious book, and she had the earnest desire to read it. She was rather desperate to read this Chaitanya Bhagavata, and she had the regret not being able to read Chaitanya Bhagavata. While reading it in a dream, she was happy. Eventually, one day, she got a chance to detach a sheet of Chaitanya Bhagavata. When her husband left a copy of Chaitanya Bhagavata in the kitchen, asking his son to keep it in the right place. She had stolen a seat out of it and kept it in a khori. She knew that was not a right act to steal a seat of Chaitanya Bhagavata from that book. And khori, as it is given in the text, is a raised bamboo platform in the kitchen which is used to keep the firewoods and other things in the kitchen. So she kept it in the quarry, and she kept that detached sheet in that quarry because that was the only private space where she could get that liberty to learn how to read Chaitanya Bhagavata. That was the only space where she could take this advantage of using it for her own self. With painstaking effort, she learned to read and write. At the end of the sixth composition, Rashsundari Devi said that writing did not cross her mind during that time. It was her urge to read Chaitanya Bhagavata. It was her urge to learn something spiritual, devotional thing from that religious book. With the study of these four selected compositions, we get a partial glimpse of Rashsundari Devi's struggle. So only these four selected compositions are not sufficient enough to have the impression or have the idea about the whole struggle of Rashsundari's life. But even then, the selected four compositions give us the picture of her struggle, and particularly the issues related to education. The question or the issue of women's education is raised here, and we can say this autobiography has documented an issue which was a social issue during that time, which had a gendered connotation. So these four compositions are also very useful to have the glimpse of the social condition of the 19th century when Rashsundari Devi lived her life. So this autobiography Amar Jiban speaks much on these pertinent issues. like gender disparity, which was very rampant. Women were not getting access to education. Women were deprived of right to education. So the issue of women education was also there. Marginalization of women, because women were not allowed to come to the forefront in the family. Forget about the societal level. Even in the family, women were not given the chance to take decision, to come to the forefront and live a life at par with a male member of the family. This autobiography also talks about the rights of women. Say, for example, she didn't even the right to visit her mother who was ill. She had to take the permission from her in-laws to go to her own parents' place. So this rights of women was also denied. This simple right, simple right to meet her parents, to visit her parents' place, to have some rest during the day, to eat food at a proper time, these were also denied. So exploitation of women, there is exploitation at all level, even at the cost of health. They were giving birth to lowest number of children in their family. They were rearing them up, they were looking after them. So the energy was drained out during that time. But nobody ever thought about the health issues of women. Nobody ever thought about the physical, mental condition of a woman during that time. So that was also exploitation, keeping them under veil, keeping them inside the threshold. These were also some sort of exploitation. Not giving a right place in the society, that was also a kind of exploitation. And moreover, an evil like child marriage, which was almost a norm, because girls during that period used to get married at the age of you know 10 or 11 during that time. I mean, to be very specific, we can say that girls were married off before they attain puberty. So it was an evil, but nobody ever thought of it. Nobody ever considered it evil, because they have made it a norm, a cultural norm. So Rashsundari Devi's story is a powerful evidence of the resilience of Bengali women despite the oppressive social structure. The social structure itself was oppressive for women, and that is seen in the narrative of Rashsundari Devi's Amar Jiban, how women had lived their life in difficulty, and how silence was a part of their life. They were not there to argue, they were not there to question, they were not there to talk about their rights. Her courage and determination in overcoming the social barriers and chasing her dream is a source of inspiration for many women. So, women do not have sometimes that much of strength and that much of willpower, that much of commitment to chase the dream. And they easily give up, not getting the favorable social condition, not getting the family support. They just easily give up. But we can look at Rasundari Devi and we can see her, that how she had kept her dream to herself. She did not even allow her husband to know her dream, because she knew it that society would be a great obstacle on her path. So we can see how Rosundari Devi had kept her willpower alive. It may be through the prayers, that It may be through the prayers, that it may be through that spiritual awakening in her, or maybe it was something that was instilled in her by her mother. But that flame of that desire was alive in her. So that is something which is exemplary, and many women can, can get inspiration from